Alright, guys. From the title of this video, you already know what I'm gonna say. You already know I'm gonna talk about. You already know what my decision is based off of. I'm leaving for the meantime, quote unquote, for now, high ticket remote closing, remote sales, whatever you want to call it. I've came to this decision because I've understood and came to a realization over time that this stuff is draining. This stuff is time consuming. People are not the same as they was before. Here's what I mean. When you go to a grocery store, you meet up with someone. Well, I wouldn't say you meet up with someone, you bump into someone and you say, hi, how are you? Or say, excuse me, who are you? This and that. Or you start a conversation based on common interest, like the apples in the produce department, right? And you talk about what apples you like, they talk about what apples they like, and it connects to what other foods they like. And there's a relationship. And sales, you're dialing someone that you have no idea who it's about. The only thing you know is I just started there so badly. You only know that they just booked in for a demo or into a VSL or something that they got into that requires them to speak to you before they get into whatever program that they want to invest in. Sometimes they don't even know that there's an investment to be involved with. A coaching program like B2C, like for e-commerce, sales, Amazon FBA, social media marketing, or even stuff like TikTok Shop or what else? Or drop service stuff or whatever you want to call it. And even stuff like coaching and consulting versus my microphone's not plugged in, it's for aesthetic. My microphone's on the computer because I don't care. The thing's off for a reason, unplugged for a reason. I unplugged the wire. I pulled the plug for now. Another thing I'm going to mention is my camera quality is so bad. This is all I got right now because I just making a raw video. Is that this stuff is draining. It's time consuming. This stuff genuinely takes time and energy and dignity out of your day. And here's what I mean by dignity. You're putting all your emotion into these people, trying to make them feel so good, trying to get them to buy, trying to get them to do whatever they like to do in order to get the results that they damn please. And when they hear investment, they're like, huh? I gotta invest money for this? I thought this was for free. Something like that. Or like, how do I know if you're not a scam? Or can I pay you later? Can I pay you with my profits? Can I pay you with results? Can I pay you with service? People don't understand this industry. People do not know what they're getting into. And that's one of the 5 things I'm going to talk about today. Number one, people have no idea what they're getting into today because they solely care about what the pleasure of the reward is. They don't want the work. They do not want to work. They do not want to put in the effort in order to get what they want. They see the testimonials, they see the cars, they see the watches, they see the jewelry, and they see everything else, but nothing of the work, nothing of the input, only the output, only the fruits of the labor, none of the vegetables and spices that they have to cook in order to get something that's delicious. I mean, delicious, something that's tasty enough to fucking bite into, which is something that is a reward of the work that they put into in order to succeed. I'm trying to use a chef analogy right here, if you know what I mean. And sometimes it's so tasty that it's so sweet. It's a fruit and a labor. It doesn't work like that, kid. It doesn't work like that, boy or girl. It doesn't. For my viewers who are listening, you have to understand the market. You are getting into a program. Someone calls you up, says, hey, I'm one of the coaches, but I'm really not one of the representatives from this team. For example, some e-commerce guru or e-commerce coach or someone, and they want you to buy their shit. They want, or instead of saying that, they want you to get interested into something like e-commerce or Amazon FBA or affiliate marketing, something with a B2C service. But despite my emotional reactions to what they were, you're gonna get those. You're gonna get objections. And some people just don't know how to handle objections. Some people don't know how to handle not just objections, but the fear, the logistics. Some people just play out straight up broke. That's another reason why I left sales. Number two, people are broke. So broke that they're in debt. Some people are so broke, not just that they're in debt, they can't even use their credit card anymore. They have to use their debit card now. I see, because I'm a manager at a retail store. I see more people tap and put their pin in, and people tap and put their card back in their wallet and ask for a receipt. More people are putting their pins in because people are just straight up don't have the money to pay off their credit card debt or to even their credit card. I just know because I've seen it. I've been through it. I had to work so hard to get out of debt myself. It was awful. It was terrifying. I was in the financial danger zone, as Jaspreet Singh says. Shout out to Jaspreet, an incredible influencer, someone who I would definitely invest with. Like if he had an info product. If only he did. Unless I don't know yet, and he does. Let me know in the comment section if Jaspreet Singh has an info product. Look up Minority Mindset. Shout out to you. I love you, Jaspreet. So, what do we do about this? You can't do much. Payment plans are not going to work. People are going to want their money back. They want a refund because they know that that's the only way they can get them some money to get back on their feet. Because they know that they didn't put enough work in to get the results that they wanted. But that being said, people are straight up not going to listen to you, and they're going to try to find a way to get what's in their favor in order to join your program or get the service that you want, especially if it's a B2B. For example, if you're doing marketing for a roofing industry, not a roofing industry, a roofing company in the roofing industry, or you're trying to market for people who want to open up more pools for in their local neighborhood, for example, because I've done Facebook ads for people who don't want to open pools. I didn't do the ads. I was a sales rep for someone who did the ads. I should have clarified. My bad. Collected like a few tens of $1,000s with that guy. Not enough. Oh yeah, and number three, I did not have the proper skills to start off with to be in sales. Sales is not for everybody. Sometimes you just got to hard sell people and push them to buy. Sometimes you have to soft sell and go a little itsy bitsy 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 just to get them to get to the finish line of the call. And sometimes they talk over you so much, interrupt you, you can't get a word across. Sometimes they ask you a question that's an objection, and sometimes people piss themselves. I never pissed myself, literally, figuratively. I did. I've been there because people like me didn't start out with this skill. I wasn't very social growing up. I didn't have any friends. Did I carry out the skills from sales over time in real life? Yes, I made a lot more friends. I made a lot more connections in person and digitally. I have a much bigger network now. But still, on the sales side of that network, not many people like me. I'm not likable because I embody or even get the skills or even have the skills or even become even born with the skills to have to do the work of a sales representative, of a high ticket closer. Heck, even an appointment setter, a sales development representative, an SDR, corporate terms. So with that being said, if you're dialing or you're doing DMs, you got to be on point. You got to be triggering them with emotion. If you can't, as David Meltzer famously says, if you can't sell with that emotion, you're done. You're fucking done. So, how do you sell with emotion? You use the words that they said against them. You basically not repeat verbatim what they said. You basically have to retrace what they said to you back to them in a way where they like to hear it. You have like speaking professionally, just the way the boss likes it. Because professional isn't professional like being a pro anymore, like an absolute professional, like let's just say a master of their skills. Professional today, but keeping things professional is how an authority figure likes it. Being servitude. Well, that's not a word. Compliant, let's just say. Or staying under servitude. That's the matrix. Servitudal. I'm making that a word. Fuck it. That being said, despite how retarded I sound, all my work means something because there's a lot of shit in this industry that is wanting me to leave. And I'm deciding to leave. I may come back. I should. There's not a lot of hope here. Someone told me straight up, I have no hope in this industry. As much of a scumbag he is, he wasn't completely wrong. It's not just me. It's just a lot of people in this industry. People who've not made it out well in this industry, like myself, people who are just joining now, when there's people who are already in the game, but from 2021 forward, who've made it out and still dominating the industry. Because you really, number four, now we're getting into number four. What I'm about to say is you had to have been in this industry from the beginning of time to even succeed now. To get with the big cats in those networks. Because it's not about what you do, it's not about what you are, it's not about who you are, it's about who you know. It's about who you know. I don't care if you've collected $1.5 million in a year in revenue for high ticket sales. If you know, so if I know, if I'm a top influencer and I know my friend who knows the skill, I'm gonna pick him every day of the week because he's in my inner circle, in my network. I'm gonna give him a shot because he's much more accessible than the guy who reached out who probably didn't see his DM for shit. He's probably some rando who's probably a scam who probably is like asking me, "Hey, let me work for you. Let me work for you. Let me work for you." Yeah, no, thank you. I don't care how good you are. Buddy. Buddy. Let's be, buddy. Let's go. That's how it is. The industry's cut. Victory says. Unless you're one of those few influencers who actually has a heart and actually wants to give people a chance, and that's what someone like me. But I've realized that so many people who are in my audience are actual complete fuck ups, and it's a reflection on how my content is. And I need to make my content better because some people are just watch this shit and think I'm a retard, and they're actual more retarded than I am. But I like my content raw, so you're not gonna change who I am. So fuck you if you think you are. The initials is RC. That's one example. Another thing with the number four is not just that you have to be in the industry. Now that because AI is a thing now, doing all the appointment setting and partially all the some of the closing, you gotta be an info product operator now. You gotta have your own product. Not just that you gotta be a closer, you gotta be selling something of your own self. So if you're a closer and you're selling for someone like Nathan Nazareth, Greg O'Gallagher, Southpaw Huncho, Luke Alexander, or Patrick Bet-David, or someone like, let's just say if Jaspreet Singh does have a info product, or someone like Romain Popel or Arwin Popel or Sebastian Squetta or Sebastian Georgiou, any of these names. Heck, it could even be TikTok Wiz from TikTok Shop. Nails, sorry, I'm stuttering. The sales reps, that's what I was trying to say, they all have another service of their own. They all private contractors. So even myself, they all have a service. We all sell our sales skills. We all have our own program. We're all trying to get more money on a separate source of income, second stream of income, I meant. It's a fucking race to the bottom. And this is what Brandon Carter says, another info guy in the fitness industry. He's one of the catalysts and the OGs of fitness programs. It's a fucking race to the bottom. And all these fake motherfuckers who are in it are all trying to get as much cash as they can just to compete with each other in dick measure. Meanwhile, they're not like the top guys like Cole Gordon, Jeremy Minor, or Justin Waller, or Dylan Madden. They're not like that. Or Jason Capital, even though he's retired. These people at the top do not care about competing and going to the race to the bottom. They made their bag. They've been in the industry from the beginning. The wave is I meant that wave, but the tide is going out and more people are swimming naked. You'll know who's swimming naked. And I'm not fully clothed myself in this tide that's going out. Because in the sales industry, I was looked at as the laughing stock because I didn't have the skills I had. I did not have the people skills. I had to develop them late. I had to develop the social skills late. I had to develop the emotional intelligence late. I had to read the books, but I didn't want to read them, so I read them late because I was unwilling to. I had a very low discipline. If I had this discipline, I would have been in a much better spot as I am now. And I am now, as I would, if I would be. I can't even speak, man. I'm so mad because I hate this industry to a certain degree, but I love it at the same time. I have a love-hate relationship with this shit, like Lil Wayne with Molly. Speaking of Lil Wayne, you would probably say the same thing. The industry's cut. Like the rap game, it's cut. You see him drop a lot. Carter 6 is not even a good album. I didn't even like it. I didn't even listen to it because I heard the intro. I'm like, yeah, I am not listening to the rest of this shit. This shit sucks. I'm going back to Carter 3, 4. So, yeah, it's kind of a rant. And number 5, why I keep ranting. Back to who you know. Your stats will matter after who you know. I've only collected $200,000 in revenue. That's terrible within 2 years. I made nothing my first year. In the first half of the second year, I made nothing. Second half of the second year, that's where I made my bag. That's when I got out of debt. That's when I got out of other bills, out of shit. I don't want to talk about that because that's a dark time in my life. I'm not ready to. That's another video for another day. If you want me to talk about that, comment down if you want me to talk about that. I'll help you guys get out of it by making a video and all the steps you need to get out of it. If not, go watch Colin Yurkison. He's a great expert when it comes to getting out of shit like that. And I mean expert, I mean a content creation version of expert because we're not financial advisors. This is not financial advice. So that's a disclaimer. I should have said that earlier because this shit is just points of view. Shout out to Colin Yurkison. Man, I was in the worst spot than me financially. And guess what happened? 18 months later, he's a millionaire. Me, I'm not in a hole, but I'm back to where I started a little bit. But I still have a good network of people based on who I know, not in sales, but in other industries. Thank God. You're gonna lose people. That's number 5. Back to who you know. You're gonna lose people. You're gonna gain respect from people. You're gonna lose respect from people. You're gonna lose trust. You're gonna gain trust. All of this shit. Trust is so hard to get, but so easy to lose. I've been blacklisted from a lot of people. And I've cut off a lot of people in my life. Different people who blacklisted me because it doesn't make sense to cut off them. If they cut you off, that's it. I cut off people who wanted to be in my life. Let's just call someone Aaron. Let's just call someone Hudson. Let's just call someone Ramari and Kawa. 4 people. Let's just name them. I'm trying to name names, but 4 people who explicitly said, I don't want you in an opportunity. Number 5, Soy. If you're watching this and you know who you are, I'm not gonna say fuck you. I'm gonna say I didn't lose you, you lost me. You lost your chance. Everybody deserves a second chance. No one deserves a third. And for that reason, I don't want your second chance anymore. I don't need it. I don't need your validation. I don't need your consideration. I don't need your cooperation. I'm completely done. Unless there's something that is so stupid in me to say no to. But I bet it's a honey trap. So I'm really gonna say no. But if I back off my word, you can call me out. Maybe look bad. Try to. I like to see you try. But for everyone who's watching this video, if you want to get into info, start an info product, know your audience, know your shit, know the industry, know your competitors. If you're someone who wants to get into sales, do the same exact thing as if you were going to start an info product. Be in the shoes of the influencer. Be in the shoes of someone who's a market analyst. Be in the shoes of a financial advisor, even though this is not financial advice, and I am no financial advisor. Be in the shoes of someone who is willing to put the money down. Be in the shoes of the consumer. They are the ones who are paying you. A business is other people's money for a reason. OPM. A business has services for a reason. Has products for a reason. Because you're supposed to provide value to them. I sound like Captain Obvious, but some of you have to fucking hear it. If some of you can't understand what I'm saying, then you're really cooked. Because I've been cooked, and I had to uncook myself. It sucked. As bad as my camera quality is, oh my God, camera focus. As bad as things are, as things were, I made it out of those bad things. Now, I have to get rid of this shit that comes in front of me right now. The next wave of bad shit. Living paycheck to paycheck, working 2 jobs, and that stuff. That's my problem. And blowing up as a content creator. That's another problem. I need to blow up as a content creator. Quit those 2 jobs. I make content with 1 job because I love umpiring and the season started. My gear's coming in the mail soon. New gear, fresh gear. So, and honorable mention number 6. If you're already in this industry, get out. Get out. If you're not doing well, get out. If you're doing good, stay in. And if AI is taking your shit, your position, your job, just get out. Let it. Or use it if you want to fight. Fight it by using it. Get out if you want to get out. I'm not saying roll over and fold. You can. But you better make sure that you go back and use it. For what reason? It's going to eat you alive. So get out, learn it, and then use it. Or fight it. And try to get better at it. Do something. Because I couldn't. Do what I can do. Where I failed, you should succeed. And if you can't, others will. I've been laughed by multiple people who've joined after me in my sales academy. I'm going to name it right now since you made it to this point in the video. Close the Cartel by Luke Alexander. Been in it for a year and a half. I've been to other academies before, within the other half a year between that time and this time. And I've been burned many times. Do not take the same path as me. Make the first investment correct. Do not make fucking bad investments multiple times in order to get a good one. Make the good one count first. Make the good one once. Make the first one good. Don't make multiple bad ones in order to make one good one. Learn from other people's mistakes. Learn from my mistake. Please. If you like this video, like it. Please. That like button. New to the channel, crush that subscribe button. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.